Just good evening, everyone.
Hi.
We are live, Patty, for the first time since February. This is crazy that it has taken us this long to actually go live. So anyway, well, we will get started here. So tonight, and it's all about celebrating 5 years on YouTube. Can you believe that?
No, I can't.
It's kind of crazy because, and we'll get into this more. We'll allow the room to kind of fill up here. But we're going to talk tonight about this 5-year journey that I think when we started, we never thought it would ever last this long. So
no, it was just to show our trip to Colorado.
That one trip, yeah. So anyway, well, we're glad everybody's here. Looks like the numbers popping up pretty quick here. So that's why I don't want to get too far into this. We'll let the room fill up a little bit. We are tonight broadcasting live, as you see in the bottom of your screen, from Forest Ridge Campground here in Ellsworth, Maine. And if you are headed up here either this year or maybe you're thinking about a trip for next summer, this is the place you need to stay. This is the perfect location to use as your base camp to go out exploring this part of Maine.
Absolutely.
And you will not find nicer campground owners anywhere in America.
Nope.
So
very nice.
Jeff and Lynn have just literally, they are just the nicest people that you will ever meet. And we had our camp out here, I guess, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so much
Where's
fun.
the summer going?
It's just going so fast.
So they not only provided the campground for everybody that was here, but they became personal tour guides, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And so, if you're thinking about coming up here, check them out. What we love about this park, and I am absolutely in love with this park.
I like because it's quiet.
It is super quiet.
We were talking about that.
We're probably the loudest people right now in the campground.
With the puppies, because they were barking. But we've been at different places, and some have been quiet, and some haven't.
Right.
And then you forget, and then I'm like, it's so quiet. I love the quiet.
It's quiet and it's small. There's 70 sites here. So unlike if you go down the road a ways, there's some of those mega parks, hundreds of sites, and it's like a big parking lot. But here, you have grass and it's spread out, but you just have like this family feeling when you're here.
And I'm still waiting on the moose.
Yeah.
I keep hearing there's
there was a moose here. Because when we were up here 2 weeks ago, Jeff was showing me the moose tracks. Well, you actually saw them too.
I'll stop you for a second.
Yeah.
There's someone in the park that's watching this. We're in
site 35. Well, hi, Scott.
Oh my gosh.
So
crazy. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so I just wanted to throw that out there. We just want to thank Jeff and Lynn, and so
very nice.
So let's go ahead, Patty, and start looking at who all's in the room. We'll go back. So obviously Jeff is on, and probably I don't know if Lynn's watching too. And Jeff became a new member of the TWD Caravan, and thank you, Jeff, for that. And then obviously Mr. Mark Milinarski,
or as Truman says, and he's here, Mr.
Bacon. And I'm guessing Karen's here. Hey, Steve from Avenger RV Adventures, and Uno's here tonight. Bill Porter. Debbie.
Hi,
Congratulations, Debbie. Maybe I shouldn't say it out loud because I don't know.
She's had a new adventure.
But she's got something big coming, so we're excited for you, Debbie. Ookie the frog is here. Yeah. Abe was here for the camp out. We never really got to see much because poor guy had to work the whole time, so he was in the RV. But
he got to do some things.
He did.
Yeah.
And we have Phil and Judy Hampton here tonight, and they were also here for the camp out. So Jeff is going to know a lot of these people in the room tonight. Louie's here, and Bikes, Boats, and Bivouacs is here. It says, the big question is, how are the slides working? The slide out has actually been fine. You probably just jinxed me.
Yeah.
No,
we haven't had any
problems. We haven't. What I haven't done though is I haven't fixed the issue with it pulling out yet. It hasn't gotten any worse since I've started putting supports under it when we travel. So hey, Barb Beals here. Rainstorms going through.
I saw that.
Barb, we've been keeping an eye on the Doppler because our subdivision, I don't know, it's not really subdivision, our area was hit with that storm back in
early
June.
Yeah.
And a lot of damage. In fact, it still looks like a war zone back there.
Not to our cabin, Barb, but around it, a lot of trees.
So
yeah.
Debbie T from Florida is here. Welcome.
Hi, Debbie.
And Carol Ann from Nova Scotia is here.
Nice.
Thank you. She's congratulating us on 5 years.
Sean and Sue.
Sean and Sue's here. And they were up here with us too. In fact, we're going to be seeing them here in about, I don't know what that is, about 3 weeks, I think.
I think someone's having a birthday.
I believe so. Actually, we're going to be
celebrating a lot of birthdays.
Yeah, that weekend we're going to be celebrating a lot of birthdays. So
get ready to party, people.
Deb is in the house. Deb and Rod, and they were not here, but they were in Booth Bay with us. So Mary's here.
Hi, Mary. We need to get Mary your girl Bessie here. I'm sure you want to see Bessie. She's sleeping right now.
Pat Kruger, congratulations on 5 years. Followed you since we had the hummingbirds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a long time ago,
That was
Pat.
a long time ago.
Susan Sandusky is here. And now it looks like, and the roads we roam, our friends Russ and Carrie are on. So thank you for dropping that in the comments. So anyway, let's talk, Patty, a little bit about the beginning. And let me just say this. If you have any questions that you want asked, just type in, if you can, in capitals like question and then a colon and then the question. That way we'll see it and we'll get. Hi, Daniel from Asheville, North Carolina. Oh, and Donna Delahunty has just showed up.
Cute haircut, Donna.
Yeah, Patty really likes your
adorable.
Yeah. Oh, John and Susan.
And Esther.
Hi, Esther, I polished off about half of those beverages you gave us. And Esther gave us what was there, 8
ciders,
different ciders and beers. Oh my gosh, it's been so much fun trying all the different. But she also gave us stuff that we didn't know what it was because it was all written in French. She got it at a Harvest Toast up in Canada.
That seasoning.
Oh my gosh, the dry rub is amazing. Which Esther ended up translating it for us so we knew what was in it. And then she also gave us this onion jam.
You love that.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing on hamburgers. So okay, so I digress. But anyway, so if you have questions, put those in. And but so 5 years ago,
Karen.
And a lot of times this comes up is how the biggest question always is who's Delaney?
Delaney was our Cocker Spaniel.
Right. Because if you were with us 5 years ago, and some of you were, then you know that when we started the channel on, I believe it was June 28th of 2017 was when we uploaded our very first video as Travels with Delaney. And Nikki's telling me it's 8:07. And we had our Cocker Spaniel Delaney. And so we had been watching YouTube. I had uploaded videos just under my name, mostly hiking videos, but never thought of us as a channel. And so when we started the channel that summer, we always had this philosophy that if Delaney couldn't go, then we just didn't go.
Right. She went everywhere.
Yeah. And so I said, well, you know what? Let's do a YouTube channel and we'll call it Travels with Delaney, and we'll showcase how we take Delaney everywhere. And the original concept was it was going to be a YouTube channel about how to travel with your dog.
Right. And you think that was what we thought of, but it never stuck.
It never had. And in fact, I remember at some point early on, maybe within the first,
we're like, what?
I don't know, 20 videos that we posted. Somebody actually left a comment and said, I thought this was supposed to be about how to travel with your dog. And what we realized was there wasn't necessarily enough content just to talk about pet travel.
Right.
And so anyway, we headed west that summer. We left Indiana.
Yeah.
And we were headed out west. And I remember the first night we stopped in Iowa at a Corps of Engineer. And I had filmed all day just with my iPhone. And the plan was never to do what I ended up doing. But that night I quickly started editing in, I think, iMovie. And I said, hey, I got a little video. I should upload it. Yeah. Back then, I didn't understand. Oh, thank you, our friends.
Bobby
and April. Yes, thank you so much for that super chat. See, it's been so long since I've done this, I forgot what it was called. Thank you guys. So if you don't know our friends Bobby and April from Travels Abound, then I'm sure you know them from the official coffee of Travels with Delaney and Bob's Mug. And here, I'll go ahead and put this one up. So I always promote Bob's Mug because obviously we're friends with Bobby and April. Although Bobby sometimes questions it.
I'm sure he does.
When I ask him things like, hey, is there a Starbucks in Stowe?
And that's the only reason was for me. I'm not a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bobby. Never have been. But I wanted a certain drink that you can get there.
But yeah, so thank you so much for that that super chat. And but yeah, so Bob's Mug Coffee, if I can't imagine anybody in this room that doesn't know about Bob's Mug Coffee, but it is the freshest coffee you're going to get unless you're going to roast it yourself. So when you go to bobsmugcoffee.com and you place your order, it goes directly to the roaster. Now, Bobby will get notified, so he'll know you ordered, but it's really about it goes to the roaster. The roaster's going to get that order. They're going to see what you ordered. They're going to pull the beans off the shelf. They're going to small batch roast your coffee. They're going to bag it. They're going to put it in the mail. You're going to have that probably within 3 to 5 days of roasting. It's all dependent on the postal service. All right. So it is amazing coffee. And at least 5%, although ever since I've known Bobby, he gives way more than that, but he guarantees a minimum of 5% of the proceeds go to Make-A-Wish. All right. But we came up with a special roast last summer to honor my uncle, Colonel Woody. Most of you know the story of Colonel Woody.
Air Force vet.
And anytime you buy a bag of Colonel Woody's, 100% of the proceeds of that goes to DAV, Disabled American Veterans Organization. And throughout the entire year, for every bag that's sold, we put in $5 in addition. So not saying you have to order Colonel Woody's, but if you do, you know, and I'll tell you this, Colonel Woody lived in Italy for 2 stints, so he knows good coffee. And he is so proud of this, and he says it's so good.
So cute.
He took like wasn't it like 20 bags to Italy with him this spring? To give to his Italian friends. Like he wouldn't have done that if it wasn't good coffee. So anyway.
Well, and I want to use right there because Michael Rinaldi's in the house.
Oh, hey, Michael!
It was back on the feed, and they're trying. You gave them.
We did.
Coffee.
So. We just came from a campground about an hour and a half south of here called Magunta Cook Campground by the sea.
Beautiful,
awesome
place.
Park. In fact, I'm going to be putting out a video.
Gorgeous.
It's probably going to be in the next month and a half. I'm going to put out a short video where I'm going to talk about the Triple Crown of camping on the Maine coast to highlight how you can make a whole trip right here on the coast. You can start down in Booth Bay at the Booth Bay Craft Brewery and RV Park and explore Booth Bay Harbor. You can then drive about an hour and a half north to Magunta Cook, which is near Camden. And oh my gosh, well, I don't even know where to start with that. It's just amazing because you can walk from your site down to an area right overlooking the ocean. We literally sat last night for a couple hours just listening to the waves crash against the rocks.
Beautiful spot.
And so Magunta Cook. And so anyway, while we were at Magunta Cook, we met Michael and Claire. They are full-time RVers who are work camping for the summer there, and both vets themselves. And I had a bag of Colonel Woody's that I had not opened. And it's kind of ironic because I have been thinking about opening that bag for the last 2 weeks, but then I kept thinking, no, we have other coffee I need to use up first. And I know this is going to sound goofy, but I told Patty last night, I said it was almost like it was meant to be. Like there was a reason I hadn't opened that because I wanted to give it to Michael and Claire because they're vets and just as a thank you to them. And Michael said he loves good coffee. So, and you can follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. Follow them. In fact, Michael, if you would, do you put your handle because for some reason
something Rinaldi.
I know
sorry.
my brain has just went it's like
I can find it.
Patty will find it.
I'll
But
find
Michael, if you can just type
Yeah.
it in where people can find you on Instagram and Facebook.
Your dad's here.
Hey, Dad.
There was a question up there, but anyway,
there was something about does it say question?
it was up higher, but anyway.
Okay, we'll go up. I'll go up.
But yeah, so yeah, that's how it started. We just wanted to have video our trip to Colorado. That's how it all started.
And then and then I should finish the Triple Crown, and then you come here to Forest Ridge, and then you stay here for probably many nights because you have so much up here with Acadia. Yeah, so
beautiful spot.
So that'll be coming out today. Jeff says his Bob's mug arrived today.
Awesome.
We do have their sticker here someplace.
Yes, I'll get it.
Patty's mug tea. Yeah. Well, and Patty only likes green tea. So anyway, I think we missed the question. Oh, the Runaway Rinaldi's. There we go. Thank you, Michael. I don't know. It's like Runaway Roses.
Yeah.
So anyway, that night in Iowa, I edit this video. Here, we'll get their sticker right there on screen so you can see it. We'll find
there you go.
There we go. So there you go. That night in Iowa, I edited, I uploaded. I knew nothing. I didn't know anything about thumbnails, and I uploaded it. And I don't know, probably like got 10 views or something. And I was all excited. And the next day we continued driving, and I filmed. And that night, in the trailer, short of the story is I ended up posting 21 videos in a row.
You did one every day.
I did one every day.
Yeah.
They were short, like 5 minutes long. And at the end of the 21 days, our goal when we started out was to get to 50 subscribers by the end of the trip.
17.
Patty wanted 17. We had 16 when we started. And hey, Sharon down in New Zealand. I want to say hi because she may need to jump off because of the time difference.
Someone from California. JJ.
JJ, welcome.
Hi, guys.
And so, but at the end of the 21 days, we weren't even close. I think we had like 30 subscribers or something. And so we came home after that 21 days, and we headed right back out like a week later.
We had to go.
We went east because we were going to a family get together. Yeah. So we filmed that, and so then we came home and we had to go back to school. And I told Patty, I'm like, I'm kind of having fun making these videos. Maybe I'll try to make some others, but obviously we can't travel when we're in school. So I ended up doing some, like just some stuff with the hummingbird. Like I had done a tour of the hummingbird. I think I forget what all I did.
Well, at the time, it was just kind of, we're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I didn't understand posting schedules. I'd get a video done. I'd just throw it up. I mean, I'd probably throw them up at the weirdest times.
Hi, Glenn.
Yes, the Iowa corn song. Yes, remember that?
Yeah.
That was that first summer.
Iowa City.
Yeah.
There's a new person.
Claudia's here from Ventura, California, and Diane from South Philadelphia. Valerie is here. Welcome.
Hi, guys.
So thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Hi, Liz.
Hey, Liz, down in Texas. So that's how Travels with Delaney got started. And boy, that first winter, that first few months, I was trying everything. We did some cooking episodes. Yep. Those were complete failures.
Rick.
Hey, Ranger Rick. Hey, Ranger Rick, I need
Allen.
Linda's here. Linda. But Rick, I want to tell you something. I got your message today. I have a feeling one of us has been hacked, because I received a message from you yesterday saying, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? And I thought, well, that's really odd because Rick knows me. Yeah. So I didn't respond. But today, and I haven't told you this, I got a message from Rick saying, yeah, don't you remember me? We were in Yellowstone and we brought Patty our favorite beer. So I have a feeling he got the same question. And I've had this happen a couple of times where I just get these random messages from people saying, can you tell me a little bit more about yourself?
Right.
And I have a feeling I don't know if it's hackers or what. So anyway, Rick, I know exactly who you are. So I apologize if you got that message.
Hi, Jan.
So, and then we did some log cabin videos. Yeah. And then what happened was back in 2017, they didn't have the rules about monetization like they do today, where you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So we were monetized from the get-go. We weren't making really any money because we didn't have a lot of views. But I ended up getting an email from YouTube in January, mid-January, I think it was, that said, if you do not get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of February, you will be demonetized, and then you can reapply when you hit your 1,000 subscribers. And I think at the time we were at like 700 subscribers, and I thought, that's never going to happen, because it took us from June 28th to January to get to 700. And then by the first week of February, we hit our first 1,000 subscribers. And there was really 2 videos that came out that I think were the driving force of that. The 5 essentials items for RVers. You remember the 5 in the thumbnail? Got lots of comments about how I was holding a sewer hose without gloves on, even though, I know it was a brand new sewer hose, but and then the tour of our Tab 400, because that was the Christmas. Those 2 videos pushed us over. We never were demonetized. Right.
That worked out.
Yeah.
Hi, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda McGinty. How are you? And so then and then we were in the Hummingbird from June until the end of December. Right. And then the Tab really gave our channel a boost. Oh, yeah, because definitely we ended up, obviously making community. We ended up building a community. Many of you.
You did a lot of those Take 5.
Right. So that first summer we went to UCamp, and we were talking to the head of marketing, and I said, what can we do to help you out? And he said, boy, if you could make some short videos on how to use the Tab systems, because we just don't have the resources to actually do them right now. And so I came up with this idea of Take 5. And by the way, I do 5 on everything usually.
It's his favorite number.
It's my favorite number. Johnny Bench was my childhood hero, and he wore number 5.
Everything's 5.
Yeah. And so the idea was, and I think at one point I tried, and then it was too wordy. I'd say, give me 5 minutes of your time, and I'll give you information you can use, or something like that. The idea was I was going to do it in under 5 minutes. Which actually, if you go back, some of those are like 5 minutes and 51 seconds. And I kept saying, but technically it's under 6. Yeah. So I think I ended up doing, about 15 of those Take 5 videos.
Oh my gosh.
And we still get a lot of views from our Tab videos today. People will reach out and say, I know you're still not in the Tab anymore, but can you help me? And I do my best to try to help them out. The problem is it's been 2 years now since we've owned a Tab. Plus the new models are not configured quite the same.
Well, and Diane was just asking if we miss the Tab 400, like if we miss it. I miss the community, the people. I miss, the UCamp was so much fun, but the size of the trailer, I don't miss. Because with 2 puppies, we look back at that and we look in others like Carl, and we're just like, how did we do that? So yeah, it's just too small with 2 puppies. So
yeah. So I would agree with Patty.
We
miss the community, we miss the new camp family, we miss the new camp quality. But it just for us wasn't comfortable anymore in terms of being compact. So and John Wiskow says thank you for hosting campouts. And
that's our way of giving back.
So the story of the campouts is kind of interesting. We wanted, and that was in 2018. Yeah. So we were growing. We were starting to build this community. We were probably up to, I don't know.
Hi, Rodney.
We went from 1,000 to 3,000 pretty quickly. So I think that's our fast. And I kept getting a couple people wanting to go camping with us. Lisa Beard kept saying, Patrick, you guys got to come and go camping with us. And Stacy Forrest. And I said to Patty, I said, you know what? I really want to meet up with both of them. Let's invite them, but we were getting other requests to do meetups, and I did not want to do a meetup. And here's why. A meetup is when you set aside like a couple hours and you call up a restaurant or a bar and you say, can I have a place to meet some people? I thought, how embarrassing if I call a place, reserve a room, and nobody shows up. So the idea that Campout was, if we just say, hey, we're going to be at this location and you book your own site and you come camp with us, if nobody ever books, nobody will ever know, because back then I didn't call campgrounds ahead of time. In fact, our very first one was a state park. And what we did was we booked like 3 nights and we said, we're on site, let's say 79. And if you'd like to join us, you can join us. And we picked this location that was kind of in between Lisa and Stacy. And I honestly thought it would be us, Lisa and Ron and Stacy and Chris. Would we have that first camp out like 13 or 14 sites total?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I loved about that first camp out was there were people who came that did not know each other.
Right.
And by the time we were done,
they were camping together.
They were camping together. They were like planning weekend getaways. Cool. And so that's how the camp out started. And honestly, I may be wrong on this, but I always tell Patty, I feel like we were kind of the pioneers of the YouTube camp out, because as far as I know, and we watched, I've never heard of anybody doing camp outs.
They would do meetups.
They do meetups, but not camp outs. Now you see all kinds of RV YouTubers holding camp outs. They may call them something different, but like you go spend the weekend. And we've hosted, I mean, this is crazy. Tennessee the first year. We did Iowa, Oregon, Virginia. We've done Yellowstone. We've done, well, obviously 2 here in Maine. We did 1 in Kentucky. I feel like I'm forgetting.
Well, we got 1 coming up.
We got Indiana. 1 coming up in Angola, but I was thinking there was 1 other.
I think that might be all big.
Yeah, and we've honestly would have hosted more except for the pandemic hit.
That kind of put a clinker in it.
So, all right. Mark Milinarski has a question. He says, who slept in the wedge in Carl? And I did, actually.
I couldn't handle it.
You slept there one night.
I knew right after we got the tab in Florida, it was New Year's Eve, and I just couldn't do it. That was usually, where I would be on that side, because I'm weird. I have a side and that's my side, but I couldn't do it. I realized then I was claustrophobic. I couldn't handle it. So we switched, and he was fine over there. And until we got 2 puppies. Yeah,
and I was actually fine until those last few months, and then I was starting to get a little.
Delaney she liked being at the feet. She didn't mind. It worked. And then as we had it, we were working on the bed situation and adding in, what was that, memory foam stuff, and just trying to make it a little more comfortable. And then it just got too crammed back there in the wedge. And then it just was too tight with 2 puppies. So, but yeah, him.
Mary says they got their site for the Angola camp out this fall. She'll see us there or at breakfast. Because remember, we're going to go up and have breakfast. We're going to take them to that.
Absolutely. That's a great place.
So anyway, that's the story of the camp outs, and we're really proud. Oh, Jan says Ohio Pile. Ohio Pile was our replacement for Vermont.
You're right.
We had a Vermont trip planned in the fall of 2020, but because of the travel restrictions, we had to cancel.
Some of those,
and we moved. We kind of it got moved to Ohio Pile for those that could join us. And
well, and see, I always forget that Ohio Pile because it was a really quick trip, and when there was school and weekend quick, I forget them sometimes. So
Glenn, I usually made the bed. In the
and the reason is because with my knee injury, I don't like putting weight. I still haven't put weight on that one knee, and that's tough for me. So he would do it.
Dad's saying maybe they should get another RV so they can see everybody, because Dad and Marilyn were at the very first camp out in Tennessee.
Well, they were the party barge.
They were the party.
Stacy called them the party barge.
Yeah.
And Jim made up a good point. Remember, we had one set in Vermont, and we had to cancel due to the COVID.
Right. That was the one that ended up at Ohio Pile. Yeah.
And Liz, DC1. Hi, guys.
Hey, Liz. Haven't talked to Liz in a long time.
I know.
So that was kind of it. So, and Patty, anything you want to share about this whole journey? I mean,
well, it's been interesting. It's I learned how to, I guess, I was telling him I learned how to be more outgoing because I'm a quiet person. He likes to do all the talking. So I really had to learn how to open up and talk, and teaching's easy. When I'm in front of the kids, I could talk forever, but something about being in front of this camera is a little bit different. But it's always cool to meet the people. That's the cool part, I think, meeting you guys from all these things. So, and I know what you want me to, we're doing more videos with me and if you haven't noticed. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Glenn, she actually will make the bed in here because it's a walk around bed, so she doesn't have to crawl on it. So,
but yeah, that first video was a riot when you look back at it because I was so robotic. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, that first video, we'll do this. I periodically force myself to go back and watch old videos. I think it's a good reminder of how we started, how far we've come, but not to try to ever get away from what it's all about, if that makes sense. So, now we could talk about the downside to YouTube. I don't know, maybe downside is not the right word. The frustrations
I'd
with
say
YouTube.
It's stressful, big time.
Yeah. Well, it's
frustrating.
It can be frustrating.
Well, it's frustrating because I know how much you put into it, how much time, because the editing and the thumbnails and everything, and you're working on those things, and then there's other channels that it doesn't seem like they're doing that as much work, and it's just they're getting huge subscribers and views and all that. So I know it can be frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say on average I put in 20 to 30 hours a week running our social media. And hey, the Floros are here. So I mean, it is a lot of work, and I would say the hardest part, and this is true for all YouTubers, not just us, is you sometimes don't get the views that you hope. And oh, hey, Mo.
There's a question from Rodney when you're done.
So anyway, like a good example is we put out a video Sunday with Patty. It's the first solo video, and solo meaning by herself. I'm not in it.
I don't know.
I was behind the camera and I did the editing. That was it. And she had not done one of those since the fall of 2017. If you go way back, she has a video in 2017 where she shows you how she made curtains for our hummingbird.
I got the idea from
Barb Field, actually. Yeah.
So I wanted to make curtains that way it was easier with Delaney, and I made a little video.
But the frustrating part is it only has like 17 or 1800 views. The audience retention time. So we get all this free analytical data about each video, so we know what's going on. The audience retention is like 70% all the way across. That's high. Most YouTubers shoot for 50%. But we're just not getting views. And we're not getting views because YouTube is not showing it to anyone. And that's the frustrating part, because you put a lot of time and effort into, thinking out the ideas, getting the shots, and then editing and all the uploading. So
because it's just comical. Because if it's a teaching thing at school, I can go. Boop, 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 boop. But when if it's like this where we're banter, I can talk. But when I have to do something else about like those products that I use, that was a little that took a little work for me, but
okay.
Through it.
Here's a question. Rodney wants to know, Patty, did you answer this already?
No.
Do your kids in the classroom watch or comment on your videos?
Yes and yes. They have found out over the years. Well, I kind of tell them too, but I never thought they would go and watch. And the current students will watch. I just had last night, a student named Bradley, who's a sophomore.
Bradley's been commenting for several years.
And he commented on something last night, how he was glad to see that I was still with you doing the YouTube and channel. And I'm like, I need to thank that boy. But there's a lot of kids that will watch. They'll comment on the live streams. They'll comment, on different things that we put out. Once they found out I was on YouTube, then of course they want to look and see. And there's a few that they like the stuff we do, the midweek updates and things like that. They don't really care. And I said, you're not going to really care about the RVs. Well, some like, I do. So whatever. But yeah, I do have some kids that follow, and girls and boys.
Which also then causes us
to make sure. I want to make sure that whatever we do is kid appropriate.
Right.
Because I don't want to do anything that's inappropriate for them to watch, because, their parents are probably watching, and that's not good.
So a good example is like you're not going to find thumbnails with Patty in bikinis, even though that would probably help get us views.
I think you would lose views, but
well, she says we'd lose views. Trust me, she looks good. But we can't do that because Patty has students watching, and so we have to, you know, and I've always said, and plus Elizabeth kids are watching,
right?
You know, Elizabeth is my conscience. And some of you know Elizabeth, and her and her husband, they lost their house in the fire last winter out in Colorado. But she's always said, you know, like, the kids watch your videos. And I always think, like, when we do something, is it appropriate for small kids? And so we will forgo a one-liner, we will forgo a racy thumbnail and give up views because we think it's more important that we protect our
it's kind of like
image,
our
or our integrity, what we believe in.
So I just can't do that because I know they're watching. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. No. Hi, RW.
Hey, Bob. Mama likey.
I haven't thought of that in a long time.
I know.
Oh my gosh, that takes me back.
And we do have a new video, bonus video coming out tomorrow night. Bob has actually seen it because Bob's a caravan member. So caravan members always get assuming Patrick gets the videos done ahead of time, which I have been pretty good about. Yeah. They get to see them a day or two early. It's not all Patty in that one, but it definitely involves Patty. So you know which one I'm talking about.
Kind of. I gotta think.
The dress.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, well, what are some of your favorite videos? Tell us in the comments. You know, is there one, or is there some, you know, because we don't want this just to be about us. We want to, and that ultimately, that's why we do the videos, is, you know, for you guys.
Your haircut was pretty provocative.
Yeah, a little racy there.
Let's get sissy.
Now Uki, he says, "Oh, that was a great video." Are you talking, Uki, about the dress video that's coming out tomorrow night? And I don't know if anybody has noticed this or not, but the videos have gotten shorter in the last few months. And in fact, some of our videos are now running in the 3-minute mark. The reason is, is Vinny Mozzarella here? Oh, yes. Yeah, Vinny.
Saw it.
So, Vinny, there's a whole video coming out tomorrow night on on the dress ordeal.
Ordeal.
Yeah. So, and Vinny, I don't know if you saw that on Twitter, but I tagged you because you know, we should get a little side bet going, although I don't feel real comfortable because OC lost last night 5-3 to DC United. I know I better leave this one alone, but Vinny is a big Red Bulls fan, which is MLS soccer for those of you who know, and I'm a huge OC fan, Orlando City, and the two are meeting in the semifinals of the I want to say,
oh, thanks, Vinny.
Oh, thank you, Vinny, for that
super sticker.
But they're meeting in the semifinals of the Lamar Hunt Cup, which is like a big tournament here in the United States. So thank you, Vinny. I think I missed a question here. Let me say, they're talking about some of their favorite episodes. Travels Abound says cheesecake video. I have to tell you, that may be the most fun I've ever had filming a video. Well, it was the cheesecake video with Bobby.
Well, and it was crazy because what I remember is that beginning part. If you've watched the video, he's and we had to do that beginning part with him looking in the fridge like 6 or 7 times because we did it. We're like, okay, wait, it's too bright, and we just had to fix
getting the lighting right. And but the best was me literally knocking on their door, and April knew ahead of time kind of what she was supposed to do, but that was all done in one take.
Oh, he was so funny.
And it was so funny because I'm holding the camera, like I knock, and then she opens it up, and I said something like, "Is Bobby here? Is Bobby here?" And she goes, "It's late." And I go, "I was just going for cheesecake." And it was like right on cue. That head comes around the corner. "You say cheesecake?"
Did you say cheesecake?
And I was like, we didn't even have to do a second take or anything. And we had to wait, obviously, because we wanted it to look like it was really late at night.
Yeah.
So we had to wait till it was dark, which,
it's dark now.
But it's not even dark enough yet.
No.
I think we went. Oh, the other thing was I wanted to get shots of grocery stores closed.
Yeah.
And the grocery stores around here don't close till 10 o'clock. So we had to go after 10 o'clock. And
this place is amazing.
Oh my gosh, that cheesecake. So yeah, that was such a fun video.
Yeah.
And yeah, the dress video,
we had fun with that.
We had fun with the Instagram reel.
And you, just the way you made yourself have pain. Like you were, the way he was talking, like it was so painful to go into the consignment shop.
Sharon says that the videos have been so inspiring. She's going to be coming to the U.S. next year, and she wants to see some of our state and national parks.
Awesome.
And so that is awesome.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So
and depending on where you visit and when you're visiting, maybe we will see you on down the road. Ranger Rick says when we started out in Colorado at Carter Lake.
Yes.
We were just talking about Carter Lake the other day because
that's when we ran to get the beer.
Yeah, that was when. But we were talking about that site and how those people would walk through our site because we had a lake site, and people would like park their jet skis on our site and just walk through and just act like.
Well, that one time we came back from doing whatever, and there was a gentleman sitting. There was like a big boulder that was at the end of our site, like where you park by the big boulder, and there was a gentleman sitting there just hanging out. Oh well.
Game night. There's I see a comment about game night. So when the pandemic hit, we used to go live and do games on Friday nights.
They were a lot of work.
They were a lot of work.
But we had the time because we both of us were teaching from home, and but that was a lot of fun, and it helped. I think it helped you and me get through being at home. You know what I mean? It was something to look forward to.
Mary says she still can't stop seeing the shower video. Yeah, that was about as racy as we get, Mary.
I did not know he did that either. I had no clue. And then when I watched, because if you watch it carefully, you see him walking from the cabin to the camper, and then he's in the shower.
In the opening scene.
And I'm like, okay, wait a minute.
Why would you
take a shower in the camper when you're right there?
But most people don't catch something like that. I mean,
I had to give him static.
Yeah. What else do we see? Oh, Todd and Carla are here.
Oh, hi guys.
Now, one of the things that's been great about this 5 years is all of you
that we met.
And a lot of you we know through conversations, comments, and that type of thing. Many of you we've gotten to know through our meetups, which is awesome, our campouts. And some of you are other YouTubers who have become our friends, like Bobby and April with Travels Abound, Todd and Carla, the Runaway Roses. They came to the first camp out. And I remember they showed up and I'm like, who are these people? Because in their videos, they had a casita, and they show up with a Bigfoot. They had just made the transition from their casita. I had watched their casita videos, and they went into their Bigfoot, and I was really confused. I remember at first. And that, I believe, was their first trip with the Bigfoot.
I think so.
And Todd and Carla are trying, a lot of people laugh at us because we have owned 10 different RVs over 17 years.
I think they're
Todd and Carla are trying to top that in the 5 years we've been doing YouTube. So I don't know how many you guys are up to.
They got a cool setup now. But oh my gosh.
Yeah. So anyway.
And don't forget Taylor. We've met a lot of puppies.
And Taylor, lots of puppies.
And a pet pig.
And Dina and Dwayne, the Floros. I remember when you guys came to the Virginia camp out. And you were just getting your channel started then.
We were walking up to see the ponies, the wild ponies.
Yeah, and then obviously if I don't mention my Hawaiian Ice, Russ and Carrie from the Roads We Roam. Russ and Carrie, the way a lot of people ask us, like, did you guys always know each other or what? No. In fact, Stacy Forrest was watching our channel and commenting heavily, and we got to know her through commenting. And then at the same time, she was watching Russ and Carrie because Stacy had bought a little guy Max, which Russ and Carrie had. And she kept sending me messages saying, you need to watch this channel. I think you guys would be best friends. And apparently was doing the same thing to Russ and Carrie. And so we started watching their channel. They started watching ours. And anyway, we were headed to, I think it was in 2019. I think it was 2019.
I think it was
2019. We were headed out, and that was the first summer they were doing work camp at the candy store. And I reached out and just said, hey, would you guys like to meet? And I had an ulterior motive.
You did?
Which was I wanted to boondock in the Tetons, but I was a little nervous because we had never really.
Well, we wanted, someone else.
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
So, yeah.
And so they said, yeah, we'll just plan a couple days off at the candy shop. But it was it's interesting when we meet a lot of you for the first time. You know us, but we don't necessarily know you in the sense that we know your name.
Right.
But it was weird because like we knew Russ and Carrie and they knew us because they watched our videos, we watched their videos. And honestly, the minute Russ stepped out,
Mary's got it right. Tetons and
blueberry pie. It was actually huckleberry pie.
Elbow in the huckleberry pie.
And the story goes that Carrie, I guess, was actually nervous about meeting us. I didn't
realize how nervous she was. But you don't need to be nervous, Carrie.
So, and hey, Jonathan's here. So Jonathan, most of you will know Jonathan if you've been watching our collaboration videos, because Jonathan is Tree Talker, the Traveler.
Yeah.
Did I get it right?
I think so.
Yeah. Jonathan, you really put me to the test with your name. But they're also in a Lance. And so Jonathan has been recovering this week in solitary confinement from COVID. But I think he's ready to hit the road finally. So, and by the way, if you haven't checked out their channel, Tree Traveler, the Talker. Did I get that? No, Tree Talker, the Traveler.
There you
go. Because he just put out a very interesting video. They just got back from a couple weeks in Germany, and he has this video comparing European camping to American camping and some of the differences and some of the very interesting. So but anyway, I mean, that's been one of the great things. It's just, I always say we have more friends now than we ever had.
Oh my
and we have friends in places.
Yeah. I mean, we always joke because like at home, we could go to the grocery, we could do whatever, and we might see family and whatever, but you never see anybody that knows us from the channel. And we can be in Mystic, Connecticut at a seafood market. We meet someone that follows the channel.
So we are 2 weeks ago. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. Where Patty and I say we're going to go get seafood. We were camping with Russ and Carrie and Bobby and April. And I said, guys, I'm going to go to this fish market and get some stuff for dinner. And they said, great, go get it. So we go down, we find this little fish market, we find a place to park. I mean, it's a tiny little building.
Oh my gosh.
We walk in, and as soon as I walk in, the guy in front of it kind of gives me this look.
He's looking at you funny, and I'm looking.
And I'm thinking, in my head, what I was thinking is,
do you have a booger?
Well, no, I was thinking, oh man, I must stand out. He can tell I'm a tourist, that I'm not a local. And then the lady with him, who I believe is his wife now, but she kind of turns around. So now I'm starting to get a little conscious. So I'm looking at my shirt thinking, I'm thinking, do I have a stain? And then he turns one more time and looks.
Hi, Shelly.
So now I'm starting to think it's my zipper. And finally she turns around and she says, by any chance, are you an RVer?
You're like, yeah.
And I still wasn't connecting at that point because I'm so subconscious about something's wrong with me. I said, yeah. And she goes, by any chance, do you make YouTube videos? And then that's when I go, I do. And she goes, I thought we knew who you were. And so we got to meet Ruben and Becky, who now are full-timing, have watched our channel and got to get a photo with them. Some of you might have saw that photo I posted on Instagram and Facebook last week. But that was so awesome. And, we're always excited when people do say something, because I've had people before who have said, like, they'll leave comments like, well, we saw you at Campground. We didn't want to bother you. No, please do. I mean, I think there's a difference. Don't come over at 10 o'clock at night when the lights are out and we're asleep and start knocking. But, when we're out and about, please do say something, because we're not celebrities. I've always said this from day one.
Regular people.
I'm just a guy that has an iPhone and knows how to use it. That's it. And that's one of the reasons. There's certain things I'm really proud about with our channel. We're not the biggest channel on YouTube, and we never will be. But we do some things, and I'm not saying this to minimize other channels that do this, but I will never charge people to get to come meet us. Meaning,
that's crazy.
We don't do. Our campouts are open to anybody. You don't have to be a channel membership. What's that?
But we bother them all the time.
They do, yeah. But
Those
it's the best kind of.
Milanarskis.
It's the Milanarskis. Of course, we expect you to. But I mean, I just can't do that. I can't say like, oh, we're going to have a members only camp out.
That's crazy.
Because that's, and like I said, I'm not criticizing those that want to do that. But
that's fine.
First of all, I just don't think I'm worth paying to meet. So, and so our campouts are completely free. I know some of the people that were up here last week or 2 weeks ago kept saying, don't we owe you something because you're buying food for us and doing things? No.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mary, for that super sticker. Thank you so much. And we're like, no, it's just our way of giving back through the channel.
Well, so, Glenn asked, do you charge for photos? No. If people want a photo, we usually are like, let's get a photo. Like those folks are like, come on, let's get a photo. And like at the last campground, we forgot because it was just kind of hectic and they were working. And we're like, so yesterday we're like, we need to find those folks and get their picture. So yeah, we wanted the pictures. So that's the fun part.
Rod says they were going to drive out to Red Apple, but decided it felt like stalking. You should have came on out. You could have had dinner with us. And then Robert Stitch says, I guess you could say that with public social media accounts, you get to experience accidental fame. I think that is true, Robert. You know, and here's the thing. I never quite understand when, you know, like when people say like, oh, I was nervous to meet you. I'm like, why? But I also know there's certain YouTubers that I have gotten a little, you know, what's googly eye about. And then I have to remember like, well, Russ Balbarone is just like me. He puts his pants on one leg at a time. So
I like his comment, Bill.
Bill, can we come over and bother you at 10 p.m. if we bring cheesecake? You can always come over if you got cheesecake. Although I will say tonight, we got back into Ellsworth this afternoon.
Yeah.
And tonight we were having dinner at Helen's, which by the way, if you get up here, Helen's is a great place to go. I had liver and onions. I know it's the craziest thing to say. We're in Maine. But I had liver and onions. Patty had an amazing pot roast.
So good.
But their pies. Oh my gosh. And I said to Patty, I go, do you want pie tonight or do you want to go get cheesecake? And so we opted for pie tonight. We'll get cheesecake another night or maybe later tonight. That's the beauty about a 24-hour cheesecake place.
Yeah.
Is that some kind of way of saying I shouldn't be charging for the tours of your camper I give when you guys head out on your adventures? No, Ookie, if you can make a buck or two, go for it. That is hilarious. And I apologize if I missed any comments.
Pretty good. I like, could we come along on the cheesecake? Oh, never mind. I saw that.
Yeah, that went. Oh, hey, Don and Marianne are here. Sorry, Don, I missed. I've been yapping away, and Shelly and Randy are on tonight. Our friends Randy and Shelly, and some of you, although I don't know that we've ever made a video with, but Randy probably will be in a video.
Be one in the future. I have a feeling.
Because
be ready, Randy.
So Randy was the best man in our wedding, and I was the best man in Randy and Shelly's wedding. Randy and I were friends all through high school. We were in marching band together and college, and so. But Randy is also an RVer, but he's very mechanical.
Very good.
And so he has generously offered to help put the new axle on our RV. So if you hadn't heard,
the axle's at home.
The axle is in Indiana in my garage.
Yeah.
And so when we get home, we're going to schedule a time with Randy, and we're going to go over to his place because he's got the necessary tools and things, and he's going to actually help us put it on.
Yep.
But Randy was not going to be outdone by me. And so he and Shelly decided they would get married 2 months right before Patty and I were scheduled to be married.
Yep.
And so they actually have us beat by 2 months in the anniversary department. So they hit 30 last year in October. We hit 30 in December. So, but he's actually older than me. So Randy, I have to, we'll let you have that one. So, oh my gosh, Randy and I have some stories. Ohio used to actually have a lower drinking age than Indiana. So Randy and I on like a Friday night or a Saturday night, because Randy was old enough, I was not, but Randy was old enough to buy beer in Ohio. And so we would ride over to Ohio, which was only like, 20 minutes from Angola, to a gas station, go in and This is what geeks we were. He'd buy both of us one beer, and then we'd go like to a fishing site or something and sit and have a beer. And I remember one time we tried this Japanese beer. Oh my God, it was, Randy and I still laugh about how horrible that stuff was. So
Marianne Roy, hi.
Hey, Marianne's here too.
They love your liver and onion.
I tell you what, that's what I had tonight, and it was very good. Like I said, because one of the things this summer, we're not used to East Coast pricing.
Oh my gosh.
And so like food is more expensive up here, and because we're in the touristy areas, the restaurants. So anytime we can find places like Helen's where you can go have a really nice meal at an affordable rate. Right. Best meal we've had, let me rephrase this. The cheapest meal we've had that was decent down in Belfast, which is about an hour south of here, 45 minutes south of here. There is a pizza place in Belfast, Maine called Alexia's.
Yep. Right on the corner.
Yep. 2 slices of cheese pizza and any bottled beverage out of the cooler for $3.95. We had lunch for under $9 the other day, and it was good.
It was good. People were coming in getting pizzas to go.
Whole pizzas, and
they were busy. It was fresh and hot, and it tasted really good. We'd had lobster. People could say, "Why aren't you eating lobster?" Well, we've had lobster, and so we just thought that would be good. And after having lobster and oysters, and we just today wanted some like comfort food. I said something homegrown, home good, so it was good.
Mary says Maine's probably not the place for somebody on a diet because of cheesecakes, pies.
It's been tough.
Yeah.
It's been tough, and just trying to keep moving and not sit around. And we've done a lot of walking. We got to see some cool lighthouses and different things the last few days. So we're trying to get back eating better. So like salad.
Deb says her brother counted how many times he saw her on the clam bake video and said it was like being an extra on a cooking show. Well, that happens because we were sitting across from each other. So
it was tight.
I guess I didn't get anybody to sign waivers or anything. But unfortunately, we did not get Phil. I
want Phil.
I know, Patty. Maybe I can
turn around.
Let me go back in my footage. Maybe we can do an Instagram reel.
Funny because he took his lobster.
You can hear him though, even though I turned the camera. You can hear Phil in the background.
Yeah, and he's going. He's making his.
He was making his lobster talk to Patty from the other end of the table.
So funny.
But I was so focused on the shot I was trying to get that I didn't realize what was going on. But you can hear it in the background. And I think at one point while I'm trying to record, I'm like, Phil is talking with lobster claws. So
we had a good time. Lots of fun.
Robert says, it seems that everything is generally even more expensive than most of Canada and the Northeast states or California and Hawaii. Yeah, there's just certain areas. I mean, I know prices are going up even at home. It's a gift. We're gonna book Phil for a future episode. In fact, Phil, get your lobster ready. Next live stream, we'll bring you in and you can show off your talents.
Well, it seems like everything this summer is more expensive.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But
hit this hard, gas.
Yeah, everything. Fuel has hit us really hard. I mean, it's hit everybody. I don't mean that.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, and so when you add up everything, and the other thing is when we go out west, typically we do a lot of boondocking to save money. Yep. And out east, there's just not as many opportunities.
Yeah.
So
we've been very generous here with our friends here at Forest Ridge for
and by the way, I don't know if you noticed, I'm an honorary team member here at Forest Ridge. These are the official T-shirts that the team members wear.
Yeah, you're gonna get to put the. You know what I think he wants to do though? He keeps eyeing Jeff the tractor you have out here.
So I said to Patty, tonight when we got back from dinner, I'm looking at the tractor and I said, so do you think if you were able to buy the campground that the tractor comes with it? And then she said, so do you really just want the tractor or do you want a campground? And I was like, I don't know. I really like the tractor.
I think he just wants the tractor.
That would be nice in Indiana.
He's like, I could help you move that pile of stone.
So. You know what, Shelly? Phil's not coming to the October, but he has a very good reason why he's not, because she said he should bring a lobster to the camp out.
Yeah.
But Phil is going to be on a bourbon tour, which
you're going to get to take the tractor. for a spin.
I will give you the key tomorrow. Take it for a spin. Yeah. All right. Just let me know. I keep telling Jeff, I am available this entire week to work, whatever. Like I am, I'm.
And your dad's chiming in for poor. He has more
stories.
Oh my
gosh. Yeah.
I'm sure he does.
Dad, I'm sure you do. I'm not sure if they're fit for family television. So. Yeah, Dad does have. I'm sure. He's probably got stories about both of us that neither of us want him to tell. So, but yeah, I wish Phil could come because maybe we could have talent night.
Yeah.
I am excited about the October campout, partially because it's in our hometown.
Yes.
And we're hoping people will get to experience, a couple days there. We're doing our boiled dinner, which we have not done since the very first camp out.
It's a fun thing.
And so I take this big turkey cooker and we put corn husk in the bottom, and then we use meat bags and we fill them up with ears of corn, carrots, potatoes, onions, cabbage, and then we do kielbasa and smoked sausages, and we just keep piling it in the pot, a little bit of water, and we just let it slow cook over a fire for an hour. The longer you let it go, the better it gets. And then when we're ready to eat, we just get out these big metal pans and we just start cutting the bags open, and we'll just have like a buffet with all the food. And then usually everybody else brings like the desserts and breads and things like that. So looking forward to that. And then I'm still thinking we're gonna even though we'll do pancakes, because favorite part of a camp out for me is cooking pancakes for everybody, but I think we're gonna have to go get some Tom's Donuts.
Oh yeah,
because Tom's Donuts, Angola is the donut capital of the world because our mayor proclaimed it to be. But I'll tell you what, Patty and I have ate donuts from the West Coast to the East Coast, and there's just something about a Tom's donut that. Now, I know a lot of you will disagree. Everybody has their favorite, but I will just tell you that even if you don't think they're the world's best, they are very good donuts.
Yep,
so.
They're good. Yep.
Oh boy. Jeff says he's setting up cones tomorrow. You can drive around the cones, see how many you can knock over.
That sounds like a challenge.
Well, Glenn, I think it's a bourbon trail trip, and I don't know if it's for new camp owners. Yeah, Phil could probably chime in. I don't know if that was if it's like a new camp group doing it or who.
They want the Wiscows want a Michigan camp out next summer.
We're thinking Michigan camp out. So, well, that you just never know
what's going to happen.
Our plans are really up in the air because of fuel prices. So Michigan could be. Our initial plan is to go west because we haven't been out there in a couple years, and we do have a lot of friends out west that we would like to see.
Depends on gas prices.
But if these fuel prices don't come down,
are you dreaming out loud, Arvine?
Randy's chimed in now, and see, I said that because Randy told me we had this discussion a month ago that he was kind of on the fence with the Toms, even though him and I both grew up with Toms.
Amish rise and roll.
Yeah, I will say, maybe that's what we should do is get some of those and Toms, and we could have a
donut off.
A donut off. People could try both and vote. So.
Taste.
Hey, Dreaming Out Loud RVing, welcome. Hope you guys are doing well. I always see your photos on Instagram. I'm terrible about YouTube these days because we just haven't been watching much at all.
No.
Just because of time. So Michigan would be good. We did finally get our Michigan sticker. Terry says we love our Kubota, small tractor for our 5-acre horse farm. Snow removal can be a bit of a challenge. It is an art form. I know. I've often thought, Shelley says the bourbon tour is, but I'm never going to say a Travels with Delaney campout is better than going on a bourbon tour. I was pretty excited though, that I scored a bottle of Buffalo Trace today.
You've been looking.
So, Kim, and I don't think Kim is on tonight.
No.
Kim Hutchinson was here for the camp out. And one night Kim invited me over to their with him and Crystal and Morgan. They were having a campfire and he said, let's have some bourbon. And so we finished off my bottle of Buffalo Trace that I bought back at the May camp out. And I didn't realize when we were at Buffalo Trace that it's actually hard to find. Because otherwise I would have had Patty bought a bottle too. You were allowed one bottle per person. So I've been without bourbon since then.
You've been looking.
I mean, I've been looking. I could buy others, but I was looking for either Eagle Rare, which is what I prefer, but there's a reason they call it rare. It's hard to find, or Buffalo Trace. And every time we go into a grocery store, I just look for it. And today they were putting it on the shelf as I was there.
It's like, oh.
And so I bought a bottle. So
now you're set for a while.
We're set. So yeah. So Sean and Mark and Jim and Uki, if you want. I don't know if Jim or Abe are bourbon drinkers, but when we get together here in a few weeks, so
you're gonna partake.
Valerie, I have had Two E's Winery, and I've had Country Heritage.
Heartland.
We like, because we live up in Angola, we tend to go either to Heartland over in Ashley, just because it's closer, or we really like Sadek.
Yep.
Although my real preference is Texas Wine Collective, because I'm a member there.
Now he's a member.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I joined a wine club.
On spring break, he joined a wine club from
Well,
Texas.
I prefer very dry wines.
Yes.
Mark Milinarski and I are we
you guys
like
are the wine connoisseurs.
Yeah, we like our dark, dry cabs. And it's hard to find really dry wines in Indiana. Now, Patty does not like those at all. The problem, though, is Patty doesn't also like the sweet wines.
I'm not a big wine.
She's just not a big wine drinker.
So
Patty's pretty happy with a mango dragon fruit from Starbucks. Close your ears, Bobby.
Or an apricot blonde, right, Ranger Rick?
She does like that. And I was trying to think what
Yingling.
other you like. Yingling Light. I was trying to think, have we had any beer on this trip? Oh, Lawnmower beer.
Lawnmower beer is
from
really good.
From Booth Bay Brewing.
Yeah, I'm just not. I think as I go, I'm not a big wine person. Period.
Oh, Mark says his son left him a bottle of Buffalo Trace wine. Nice, Mark.
Good score, Mark.
Yeah, we like that. Pat says, we're in Florida wondering what the cost of gas is out your way. We're going to be in your area this fall. Any good wineries there? Now, Pat, are you talking about, or I guess number one is, are you asking us or were you asking somebody else in the group? I'm not sure. But in Indiana, obviously we're not home right now, but Dad was saying, and maybe my dad can jump in here, it was running around $5 a gallon, but I think just recently it maybe dropped a little bit. And then, and then wineries, again,
Sadek.
Up in Northeast Indiana, like I said, we like one called Sadek, Satek.
Yep.
We actually have lots of wineries. I mean, there's one right beside or just down the road from Sadek.
Yep.
Briale.
Yeah, I kept thinking of Buffalo Briale.
And then
Heartland
over in Ashley. Then in Fort Wayne, you're down near Fort Wayne, you have Country Heritage, you have Two E's. So yeah, and all the way up and down Indiana, there are lots of wineries.
Your dad says Coke Zero for me. King Sam Shockley says $4.70 right now in Angola.
$4.70 right now in Angola. Okay, so it's come down quite a bit. Off topic, who is more iconic and legendary, Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston? I know what you're going to say. Elvis Presley.
Exactly. No one can beat the king. So Randy says it was averaging 489 this past weekend in North East Indiana.
Okay. Yeah. Bill Porter says 497.
Yep.
Yeah. And some reason Dad is saying he's a Coke Zero person, but because he doesn't like wine. No, but he does like a Bloody Mary, even if it doesn't have vodka in it. I keep trying to tell him that's just tomato juice, but
he's getting his vegetables.
Yeah. So yeah, Pat, if you guys come up to Indiana,
is there an alcohol problem here?
Maybe. No. Actually, Patty sometimes says I do have a drinking problem. I'm not drinking enough because the wine cabinet just keeps getting fuller and fuller. So
yeah.
I like to buy bottles, and the problem is Patty doesn't really enjoy wine, and I don't want to open a bottle just for me. And so, and honestly, with the pandemic there for the longest time, nobody came over. So that's why when Mark and I get together, Mark and Karen and I will enjoy a bottle.
So. And Terry's asking if I've seen the Elvis movie yet. Nope, not yet. I'm looking forward to that one. I want to see Top Gun Maverick, and I think the new Minion Guru. I want to see that one too. Lots of movies. Haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I'm waiting to see Elvis. My mom saw it. She loved it. She said, "Take some tissue for the end." And I said, "Well, I know how his life ends. It just depends how the
Sam's Club 446. It's like they're paying you to take it, Phil.
It's
446.
Yeah, giving it away.
I actually saw somebody posted on Facebook today on my face a Buc-ee's near Atlanta. So I don't know which one because there's one south and there's one north. $3.97 a gallon.
Oh my gosh.
So
see, they're asking. I thought Patty liked wine. Well, it's okay. I mean, I'll do a drink, a taste. I think I'm allergic to. There's something in a red wine that gives me a terrible headache.
Yeah, she can't do the reds really anymore.
If I do a little bit of red, it's just a tiny bit, but I can't really do a red. I'll do a white every now and then. Like if we have it, I won't turn it down, but it's just not my thing.
Jim wants to know how much is Buffalo Trace a gallon. Might be cheaper.
Adam from Florida is here.
Adam, he says that
$7
a gallon for diesel in California a couple weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
Are you traveling, Adam, with your RV?
Have you been to Graceland? Yes. Was it at our 25th, 27th? I don't know, one of those anniversaries you took me there on a surprise.
Yeah, we were there.
I think it was 27. I think it was the 27th, to making up for the 25th.
Or 28th. I don't remember.
But yeah, he took me there.
We stopped on our way to Texas.
Yeah. I've been there a few times. I've been on the Elvis quiz show. That's a thing they do on Fridays on the Sirius XM. I did that.
We've been to Graceland, 5-6 times? Probably?
And the last time we were there, it was all new across the road in Graceland with all the new displays and all the cool artifacts. It's really cool. Texas,
$4.11 a gallon, Liz says.
Wow.
So
yeah, Graceland's awesome. Not just the mansion. The mansion's just cool, but the other stuff is cool too. So.
Oh, Jeff says, I see a road trip in your future to Mossy Ledge Spirits. All right, Jeff, I'm in. This might be a good one.
It might be a good one for you, huh?
There. I saw Jeff's comment. I thought he was going to say, you guys are talking too loud. You're waking the neighbors.
Okay, Adam says, I got a new RV and used it out in Eastern Sierras a couple weeks ago. Cool.
Oh, nice. What'd you get, Adam? I didn't know you had gotten a new, but we haven't done a live for so long that we haven't had a chance to talk with everybody. Yeah, Mary says, let's all go to Texas.
Yeah.
What else did I miss? Buffalo Trace a gallon. I saw Uki say something about if there was a Buc-ee's in Ohio. There probably will be before long because Buc-ee's is growing very rapidly. What is your favorite Northeast beach campground? Beach campground Northeast. Well, I don't know that have we ever stayed on a quote beach campground
in the Northeast?
A true beach.
I don't think we have we?
Are you talking about like where you're actually parked at the beach? Because
the only one I can think of would be Myrtle Beach,
but that's southeast. Yeah. The beach campgrounds we've always stayed at have been in the southeast or Texas. But up here, partially because the beaches are so different up here.
Yeah, the Rocky Coast.
But I will tell you, Magoontacook, where we just came from,
so cool.
Because they don't really have a beach per se, although the owner did jump in the water the other day. We watched him go down and dive in. But you can, your sites aren't on the water, but they have like a common area down by the water. And that was pretty nice.
It was nice, yeah.
Atlantic Oaks we like out in the Cape, but again, that's not on you have to drive to the beach.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, Rodney said the same thing. Not a beach, but Atlantic Oaks, yeah. And we did we've stayed at Atlantic Oaks a couple of times. Yep. Which that's something, Jeff, we need to talk about is some outdoor showers here. Because the one thing I love about Atlantic Oaks is they have like 3 or 4 outdoor showers.
Now let's just preface, they are private.
Yeah.
It's not like communal and you're just not
No. But I got all excited because when we checked into Magoontacook, she said we have outdoor showers. I was like, oh yeah. and she was saying how nice they were. And I'm like, well, okay, great.
Try this out.
We walked over to them, and I was so disappointed because they're technically outside, but they had a roof over them.
You can't see the stars.
At Atlantic Oaks, it's basically like a wood stall, and you shower and you can see up and look out at the stars. And it
was cool.
You go, and it's one of those things. I during the day, I don't think there's anything special about it. But if you go like right now when it's dark out, to be showering under the stars,
it was nice.
So Jeff, if you see me outside tonight with a hose.
Ranger Rick says they're getting the Buc-ee's at Loveland, Colorado.
Ooh, awesome. So Buc-ee's is coming to Colorado. Yeah, we need to get back to Colorado.
And Deb's right. You can walk from Atlantic Oaks down to get your lobster.
At Arnold's Clam Shack. Yep, Arnold's.
You can
we do
away.
Like, is the Booze Across America, Booze Across America Tour 2023. It could be. I remember that video when Patrick surprised you for your anniversary. That's the one. At Graceland.
Because we did a live stream.
Mark says, Jeff, you're supposed to be the responsible. What would you say what is your absolute, no, let's not.
What?
I was going to ask you what your absolute favorite trip that we've taken since we've been on YouTube.
Golly, there's so many cool ones. That's a toughie. I mean, because seeing the Oregon coast was amazing. That was a fun trip. Going to Seattle with Puppy Truman.
That was a good trip. We've just been so fortunate to get to see so many. We've been able to go
so many cool places. Shoot.
Yeah, Robert. I think a lot of times he's saying a lot of times when you refer to an outdoor shower, people think of the outdoor shower on your RV. Yeah. You have to be in a shower to see stars. No, technically, Steve, you don't have to be. That's what I've been doing wrong. No, but I don't know. I remember the first time we were at Atlantic Oaks, we were with my brother-in-law, and I see him like at night. I see him I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm going up to take a shower in the outdoor shower. I'm like, why would you do that? And he's like, oh my gosh, it's refreshing. You ought to join me. And so I was like,
wasn't buggy or anything.
So I was like, all right, just because I wanted to experience it, I guess. And then I got up there and I'm like, oh my gosh, you were
nice.
Yeah, I know it sounds.
We were in a tent back then. That first trip.
Are you planning the Booze Across America 2023 tour? I don't know. Depends on what fuel prices are. It might just be the Booze in Indiana tour. I hope the noisy neighbors don't keep you up. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. So Jim, I'm excited. We're gonna see you here in a few weeks again. So I don't know if you heard. I've got some Buffalo Trace. I'm not sure. You and I've never talked about that. I don't know if you're.
I don't know if he enjoys it or not.
Assateague Island. We have actually camped at Assateague at the state park.
Yes, with the horses.
I would say my favorite beach campground, my favorite beach camping experience was last summer in Texas.
That would have to be
because you're literally parked on the beach and it's free.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, how can you be free? But,
Did Pat pose my question to you? Hello, Mark Milanowski. Gosh, what was the question, Randy? I forget what it was.
So
because I don't even remember what that was. Another shower scene again. No, I didn't film. But I did. If you saw the video last summer from Atlantic Oaks, I did film in the shower there. Yeah. So maybe there is something about me in the shower.
And Jim
bourbon guy. Oh, I do think I did say something. Now I do remember. It's not appropriate for the channel.
Yes, we know that question.
Yeah, now I remember. I couldn't remember what it was. So
I know that question. Yes. I'm just gonna
So how many more years do you think we will stay on YouTube?
Golly. At this point, I don't see it ending.
You don't?
No. I think you have the drive. You have the desire. This is like your baby. This is you. This is and we met so many cool people. Not that we couldn't see them without YouTube, but I think you'll always do YouTube.
I used to say, I remember, and it used to drive Russ nuts because I would say, and this goes back even 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I used to make the comment, if I stop YouTube today, I would be very content because of all the friendships I have now because of YouTube.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll go on forever because nothing does.
No, but I think it's gonna keep going.
I think we're good for at least another year.
I think you've got re-energized with the courses you've taken and the new ways you're doing your videos with what you've been learning and things like that, that I think you're now having more fun with it.
Yeah, I would say I'm having more fun making videos today than I've had in a long time. But the frustration still is there. Trolls used to bother me. Anymore, I'm pretty much. I actually kind of feel sorry for them. Yeah.
But no, I see it being something that you'll want to continue doing, and it's going to evolve and change even more, I think.
Yeah, and Steve's right. YouTube is a way to stay in contact with friends. I mean, that type of thing. Yeah, the thing that I'm always shocked about is how many people like the midweek updates on travel or on TWD Life, which was what those episodes originated here on Travels with Delaney. We ended up moving them because the consultants that we were working with recommended it. But I mean, most weeks when we record this, I'm like, why would anybody want to listen to this crap? And yet, when I make statements like that, I always get like people are like, "Whoa, you don't get rid of those." So, I mean, those videos get somewhere between 400 and 500 views a week. So we know it's those of you that care about us, I guess.
Glenn had a question.
Yeah, Glenn was asking, are you still planning full-time RV? Not full-time RV, part-time RV.
We're going to do what's called semi-retired?
Yeah.
Is that how you call it?
The plan is in 2 years, we're both going to leave our teaching jobs. I will, quote, retire from the college. Yep. And what that really means is that I get to keep insurance for us until we become Medicare eligible.
Right.
And I obviously, because I will only be 55, so I can't draw off of our retirement. So we'll still need to work. We'll just be looking for remote jobs. Right. And then the plan is to travel much more and do it in the months that we want to do it in versus the months we have to do it in.
Right.
And
when it's cold in the winter.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be somewhere
nice. So and it's interesting because we want to eventually live in Florida. I think I
think over the years and traveling, and we've talked every time we go someplace, and I think now that seems to be the place that always comes up in our conversation that feels like home. And I think it's because we lived there for working at Disney. We traveled there. My goodness, how many Christmases?
Oh, we're 27 years in a row.
And when we go there, we know the area really well, and we have friends there, and it feels like home.
Yeah.
And even though it's hotter than blazes in the summer, we've dealt with that because we worked there in the summer, and probably we know how to handle it. So that just seems to be the place.
Right. But we've also talked we literally had this conversation last week. Mm-hmm. We really like Maine.
Love Maine. It's beautiful.
Because the weather here, this is, we've only been to Maine 3 times, but every time we've ever come here in the summer, it's very temperate compared to other parts of the country. And so, but we were talking last week, we don't necessarily need to buy property in Maine. Mm-hmm. We could see ourselves maybe coming up here with the RV. Yep. And maybe being like Claire and Mike. Yep. and work camp. Yep. at a campground for the summer months or something.
Hi, Dustin.
But have a home base in Florida in Tubaversary, right, Dad?
Yeah, Dad.
Dad's like, sure, start making the mortgage payments, Bubba.
Yeah. Probably.
And so that's kind of our plan. And so, and there's some things we want to do in the winter months. Like we have never been to the Southwest.
Right.
We want to go and be able to travel, in January, February, and March out to the Southwest, things like that. So,
yeah,
but not 100% full time. That's really never been something I don't think we've ever.
No, because we even learned, with even watching other YouTubers and our friends and that have been out and about doing a lot of full time, that you need a home base. Right. You need a place because you never know. Like, COVID taught a lot of people you need a place to go back to, and we want to make sure we have that
Dustin says you aren't allowed to leave
I
your
know,
job.
they always say that. Well.
And Steve says winter in Florida, summers are crazy hot. Yeah, you know, we lived for 2 summers in Florida, and so we're realistic, and I don't know that it's I don't even know what I was going to go there with that, but it's we're realistic. Let's just put it that way. And it doesn't mean we're necessarily stay there all summer.
Because probably what would happen is in the summer we'll go to where it's cooler, like what we normally do. We head to the mountain. We head to Maine. You know, we go places where it's cooler.
Mark says we should live in Maine. I think Jeff might tell us winters in Maine are pretty rough. We're pretty rough.
Because we heard from someone else. Well, that owner, he was talking about how nor'easters, how crazy it was at Maguntacook with the nor'easters. He was talking to some folks. We heard about that.
Melanie says our channel's grown on her.
Oh, thanks.
So, I'm sure we're not everybody's cup of tea, and we totally get that. And
your dad says, "Sure, start paying."
Yeah. Better hurry. Florida's almost full. I know some more people have come in the room. I apologize if we missed you here. Summer in Maine, winter in Florida. I think that
and look here, this one.
Property is cheap in Maine comparatively. Yeah, and we have noticed that because I know last year we were we were looking in Belfast at some properties, just just for fun.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I think property up here is a lot cheaper than Florida is out of control right now, although lots of parts of the country are that way. Even in Indiana.
Oh my gosh.
Our property has went up we've lived at the cabin now for 6 years. We've owned the cabin for 6 years, and it's went up about $125,000 in value. Not quite doubling, but I mean it's significant. So, which is crazy.
Glenn,
Patty, do you have to start now cleaning out your classroom to be able to retire on time?
Probably.
She saves everything.
Oh my God. I did clean out when I had to shift rooms from 6th grade to 5th grade, and my goodness, I had a lot of stuff. But
yeah, Robert says, I guess you could say that coastal states don't get much cheaper than Maine, other than maybe some of the Gulf Coast states. And I got to tell you, an area that we really enjoyed, if we weren't going to go to Florida and call that our home base, was down around Gulf Shores, Alabama, that area. We enjoyed that. Texas was on our short list, but and we like Texas, but there's just, like Patty said, there's something about when we go back to Central Florida, it just feels like home to us.
I think because we've been there so much.
I mean, I practically grew up there.
Yeah.
Like, because Dad will tell you, I mean, he'll chime in. We went to Florida once a year, typically.
Yeah.
And Washington State has very mild weather too. Christina says, "Welcome." We've been there. We've been out there a couple of times.
Truman was a baby. We went to Seattle.
Yeah.
So baby Truman.
And I don't think, the humidity, Adam
says, crazy.
In Florida.
Yes, we know. There's baby Truman.
I don't think Jeff and Shelley are on tonight, but Truman actually has his own friends out west in Seattle. So, and for those of you that have never heard the story about Truman's friends,
even how we got him, like the first, within getting him, we traveled.
Yeah, we only had him a week, and we hit the road to go out west. But we're sitting at a Starbucks in Reston. I think Reston. I think. Yeah,
we done
it's a suburb.
We were just getting something to drink, just chilling out with Truman.
This couple and their daughter walk over. We're sitting outside the Starbucks, and they're like, "Oh, he's so cute." And what kind is he? And we, we're like Cavalier, and then I don't know, they're standing, and finally there's a table, and they're like, "Do you care if we sit down here?" And we're like, "No, go ahead." And an hour later, they're inviting us to go with them for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And so ultimately that year, because we had no plans and they seemed nice,
they were great.
We met them
awesome
down near Netarts on the Oregon coast.
Beautiful place.
And but at that point, we never even said anything about our YouTube channel. And so to this day, like
they'll say
we don't really watch their
channel.
So they came to our Yellowstone campout, and everybody's talking one night about their favorite episodes and things. And they're asking Shelly, and she's like, well, I have to be honest, we don't really watch much. We come for Truman. So we always joke that they're Truman's friends. Because I told Jeff one time, I said, be honest, Jeff, if we didn't have Truman, there is no way you walk over and start talking to him. He's like, of course I wouldn't just walk up to a complete stranger. So we always say that it's Jeff and Shelly are Truman's friends. He was
just a little baby boy. Yeah. He was just itty bitty. Yeah.
Yeah. And so those were, that's Truman's friends. The story of Truman's friends.
Truman, yeah.
But they've become our friends too.
Yeah,
so
they're nice people.
Oh yes. Mary says, I'm sure you remember Truman jumping out of the car.
Oh my gosh, that's freaked me out.
That was in Idaho at a dump station.
Yeah. And we had the 4Runner. I was checking him on the back seat. I opened the back seat door and he just jumped out. I couldn't get him because he was so squirmy and fast, and he lit on that asphalt and the squeal like he was dying and running. And finally I got him. He came right over on the other side, and I got him. And at that point, I got back in the car and I said, because he had a harness, I said, we're getting a seatbelt that attaches to the seatbelt in the back seat for him. We never had with Delaney. She didn't do that. Maddie, our other dog, didn't do it.
Phil and Judy got to leave.
Bye,
guys. We'll talk to you soon.
But yeah, he needed a seatbelt. And ever since then, they both are seatbelted.
Yeah.
One is just if you have to hit the brakes, they're not going to go through a windshield or something. So yeah. Good night, Travels.
Hey, Bobby and April. We will see you in about a week. So thank you so much again.
There you go.
I get my Bob's mug.
There you go.
Boy,
Stop.
There, Bobby. That's horrible product placement, huh? Bob's Mug Coffee. And by the way, I think sometimes people think because I'm always talking about like Bob's Mug and that like Bobby's paying me. He is not. They are not. They're our friends. And
did you say cheesecake?
Yeah, did you say cheesecake? And so, no, we wouldn't want to be paid.
Yep.
We just, same way with other companies, the same way with like Jeff here at the campground. We love this campground. So.
Yep. All right.
I guess we have been on here. I didn't even realize we've been on here an hour and a half. So if there's any last questions anybody has or anything you want to share, drop them in the comments real quick. And otherwise we'll probably wrap it up.
Well, I'm seeing a conversation about going to Bibba. I want to go to Bibba.
I want to go get cheesecake.
Are we making a cheesecake run?
Cheesecake. You say cheesecake? I bet Bobby'd get back on if he knew we were going for cheesecake. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun that night with him. I wouldn't blame it on. I would blame it on the knee. Thanks, Glenn. Yeah, Glenn, you've been with us a long time as well. I don't. Oh, Shelly is on here.
Here, true.
Shelly, did you hear me telling the story about you guys, or did you just hop on?
There's Sleepy Truman. Say hi, Shelly. Oh, where are you? Put you right in the front. There you go.
Adam, I don't think so, but I never say never.
Shelly's on there, Bubby.
Adam wants to know if we're getting a new camper soon.
I don't know about soon, and I won't say never.
Right.
But I think right now we're just trying to enjoy this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great layout.
I love the space.
Even though we've had issues, it's still better built than a lot of the trailers out there. There are things now that we don't like about. I don't say don't like about it,
you always think, okay, I'd rather have this or that.
Yeah. Like I really wish we.
Oh, they didn't hear the story.
You didn't hear.
Told the story.
Shelly, you just missed it. We were just talking about how we have friends out west, but they're really Truman's friends. And I told the whole story about Starbucks and that first summer. So
Shelly, say hi. I'm so big.
23 pounds now, Shelly. Although I guess that's probably about what he was when we were out of Yellowstone the last time.
He's a big guy.
Hopefully you guys had a good time, Shelly, at the at the parade.
Saw your pictures.
So if any of you ever get out west for the 4th of July, well, maybe I shouldn't say this because then everybody will go. But
go there.
But Rockaway Beach on the Oregon coast has an amazing 4th of July parade. It's like the old time, not where it's just tons of
it's different than what we see.
Yeah, it's people, locals building floats, and they just have a lot of fun with it. And we've been fortunate to get to go to it twice. Yeah. And so. Oh yeah, hey, yeah. Val and Bill are coming to the campout.
Your dad's leaving. Good night, Dad.
Yeah, it's bedtime for Dad.
And it's storming at home. Hang in the storms.
All right, Dad. Thanks, Bud. I called my dad Bud.
Yeah,
Can
why'd
I
you
do
call
that?
your dad Bud?
I don't know. You get to a certain age where you get to take over as the parent. I think. Go to bed, Dad. Tell Marilyn we said hi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we did, Robert, get really lucky because prices have went up. MSRP on this trailer now is 20,000 higher than when we bought it. So, yeah, maybe next year, Shelley, if these gas prices come back down to a level I can afford. So, but yeah, we're looking forward, Val, to October, and I think that's going to be a fun one, even though it's just a weekend deal. I think it'll be a fun one. Mm-hmm. So I have no idea how many people are coming to Angola. I guess I'll have to get a hold of
we'll know when we get home.
Angie at the at Happy Acres and find out. Yeah. So actually sometimes fewer is better.
Yeah.
We've had some really big campouts. Yep. It's just hard to get to spend time with everybody. So
Mark says time for wine. Okay, Mark.
All right, Mark. Well, I think that's going to do it. Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out with us tonight. And we couldn't do it without you guys. And as long as you're willing to watch, I guess we'll continue to make. So, can you say good night? I think they're both like exhausted.
Tired. Look. Aw. Say night.
All right, everyone. Well, we will try to not go without a live stream so long next time. And for our members, I think there's a few of you on. We will be doing a Zoom here probably in the next week, and I'll get that posted. So, again, till next time, everybody. We'll see ya.
Bye.
On down the road.